Coming up on Down Under EV Adventures, I try a higher tyre pressure on a trip to Perth. Will my economy be any better? Welcome back to Atto 3 Adventures, everyone. So today we're going to test tyre pressure on a long trip and see if it makes a difference. Now this is a trip from a few weeks ago and I finally got around to doing the episode. So yeah, I've got an air compressor which I monitor my tyres, and I normally keep them around about 36, 37, which seems to be the sort of sweet spot. But on a long trip I've heard that, whack them up to about 40, 41, and will that make some difference to the economy? Well, I was really keen to find out. So here's my little test. Let's get straight in and join the night before my trip when I'm just about to do my tyres. So yeah, tomorrow I'm heading off on a trip and I'm just going to inflate all my tyres because I've heard that having a higher PSI could result in quite a significant saving or better economy on a long trip. So I'm going to put it up to 40 and see if that really makes a difference tomorrow on the trip. So I've got a little home compressor over here, and I'm going to go and see what sort of difference it makes once I pump them up to 40 PSI. And other than that, I'm not going to clean my car because it's just going to get dirty on the road tomorrow. But yeah, I've taken the trailer off and I just have to pack my stuff. And we'll see what sort of difference that makes on a long trip. I'm really curious to see. Okay, let's get this trip underway. My tyres are ready to go, and I decided to stop in Coolgardie, which I sometimes do, and just top up because I want to do a couple of side trips, and I'm in for a little surprise when I get there. So it's a chilly morning here in Kalgoorlie, 7 degrees outside, but I'm fully charged. It's 8:30. Just gone, and I'm heading off now. So let's see if this higher tyre pressure makes a difference. I mean, bearing in mind too that it is winter in Australia, so that may affect the battery performance as well. So I haven't done any tests. I should really do a winter test. I might do one when I get back, but anyway, that's not what today is about. Today we're gonna see how we're going to get on with this higher tyre pressure. Okay, so I'm in Coolgardie and I decided to charge, which I sometimes do in Coolgardie, which is only 40 k's away from Kalgoorlie, because I'm going to do some side trips like I normally do. I don't like to drive straight through. If anyone watches my channel, you'll know that I love to do little trips and explore Western Australia. Got my little dog with me for the next week when I go to Perth, so I'm having a little holiday with Zoey. Aren't I? Hey? Do you want to go for a little walk here? I'll take that as a yes. Those of you who haven't seen the Coolgardie charges before, where it is just next to the Shire offices. And you can see that's the main street there passing. So it's just off the main street there. And you've got your 2 charges there, plus your BYO AC charging, which is a bit slower. So you will just have a 10-minute walk and come back and the car will probably be almost done. This is a nice park which is next door, almost next door to where the chargers are. If you've got children's or a dog, this is a good place to come. And there's also a swimming pool. Obviously this time of the year is way too cold, but I guess in summer if you wanted to, you could go for a quick dip as well. Anyway, it's a beautiful winter morning. Okay, so I've just gone for a walk and I've noticed that the charging speed is very slow. It's the first time I've really charged when it's this cold. So it's only about 8 degrees, 9 degrees outside. I know that's a real problem in cold areas. So I don't know if that's the reason why, because it's just so cold. But anyway, charging very, very slowly. So I may just go up to 95%, I think. And then go on with my journey, because normally it only takes about 10 or 11 minutes here to top up, but obviously it's taking a lot longer than that today. It's already been going about 10 minutes. It was painfully slow this morning, so yeah, that's an interesting observation for this cold winter's morning. It's warmed up to 10 degrees out there. Alright, I'm going to keep going. I just went to 94% because that was very, very slow. So you can see it took me 14 minutes 15 seconds to put in a paltry 3.89 kilowatts. It was only $2.34, but very slow. But onto the economy, we did 38 kilometres, we used 6.5 kilowatts roughly, with an economy of around about 17 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, just over. Anywho, now I decide to go on with my trip, and I decide to stop at the Boorabbin Memorial, which is a nice place to stretch your legs. It's about an hour away, and it's a memorial to commemorate the sad passing of 3 truck drivers who sadly lost their lives in a bushfire a few years ago. Okay, so we're cruising along here. I'm going to stick to around about 100, and I have got the heater on at the moment because it's, quite chilly out there. But there's not a cloud in the sky for the first time in about a week in the goldfields. So I reckon in about half an hour, I'll be able to turn the heater off. Closing in on 100k since we left Kalgoorlie, and the economy for the past 50, according to this, is around 17.6, so excellent economy so far. That's well within what I usually like to get on a long trip, and the beautiful morning is continuing. I'm just about to turn off the heater here, so I'm going to stop here at the Boorabbin Memorial, which is a truckies memorial for the truck drivers who died in the bushfire. I have stopped here before, you might have seen on a previous video. It's a nice place to stop and stretch your legs. It's a nice little walk to get to the memorial itself, and there's a toilet here too, and plenty of places to park. So yeah, let's go for a little walk. Okay, so Zoe and I had a great walk there at the memorial, and now we're heading on to go to Southern Cross. It's just under an hour to get there, 84 kilometres away. Yeah, so that was the Boorabbin Memorial, just a nice walk there of about a kilometre. I think it's about 700 metres there and back, so it's a nice little walk. Alright, let's continue on with our journey, and the next stop will be Southern Cross. Alright, and we're crossing over into the wheat belt. Of course, it'll be a while before we see any fields or crops. That's usually from about Southern Cross onwards, and hopefully it'll be nice and green. We'll be able to see some nice green crops. But we're only about 40 or 50 k's from Southern Cross, so I'm happy to up the speed. The economy is showing just under 18. Still got the roadworks going here in Southern Cross, but look at the lovely green field. So all that rain we've had in the wheat belt, but the crops are going great. Yeah, Southern Cross charging away. Let's have a look outside. Anyway, I'm going to go for a little walk, then I'm going to come back and have some lunch because I'm pretty hungry. All I've had for breakfast is an iced coffee and half a box of Pringles, small box of Pringles. Been for a walk. I'm up to 69%. I don't have to go to 100 because I'm stopping in Merredin tonight, but I'm going to have some lunch here anyway, so whatever I'm up to when I finish lunch, I'll keep going with my journey. Well, it's been great today, the charger here. So 27 minutes I've been here and I'm already up to 85%, which is excellent. And I've only got to go to Merredin now, which is around about 105 k's, I think it is. So I will actually do a couple of side trips coming up as well. I will actually go off the highway, and I've got a couple of places I want to go and check out. That's it for the charging here in Southern Cross, and time to continue on with our journey. Just had a great lunch here. Okay, onto some figures. So no issues at all with the chargers at this station. Just under half an hour. I put in just over 34 kilowatts, and it cost me $20.46. And if we move on to the economy, we can see we've done 187 kilometers since Coolgardie. That's just over half the battery, 52% or 31.2 kilowatts, leaving a very, very respectable so far, 16.68 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So far, so good. Now, the next stop, I decide to visit one of the famous pump stations, which is between Kalgoorlie and Perth. I'll tell you more about that when we get there. It's only 66 kilometres away and roughly 45 minutes to get there. Okay, so here we are at the number 5 pump station, which is called Yerbillon. Now, I hadn't been to this pump station before, and it's a little bit hard to find this one. It's on Smythe Road, which goes off the main highway, and these pump stations are part of the pipeline which pumps water all the way from Perth to Kalgoorlie inland, about 600 kilometres away. Now, some of these stations, in fact, a few of them are no longer in use, and some of them have been modernised. I think this one's been modernised. The old ones used to burn wood, believe it or not, to use the pumps to pump the water. But anyway, sit back, relax, and have a look at this interesting pump station. Okay, so just a little bit spooky there, that old pump station. But anyway, we're heading off from the highway. We're heading south, and we're going to go see the Collgar wind farm. So I wanted to take some drone footage of the turbines when they're turning, and also, with the green countryside. Last time I went through here, the wind turbines, none of them were working. They were all still for some reason. Obviously they were doing some sort of maintenance or something. Anyway, it's roughly a 40-minute drive. Alright, so that was the pump station there, one I haven't seen before. It's not very well signposted from the highway for some reason, I'm not sure why. Anyway, I'm going to head south now, and I'm going to go past the wind farm on the way to Merredin. So this is a little bit off the highway. I sometimes go off this part of the highway, usually turn off at Moorine Rock. You may have seen that too in a previous video. So there's some nice countryside out here, and there's a huge wind farm just south of Merredin, and we're going to drive through that way. So it's a very nice area, and hopefully the crops will be nice and green. This is Smythe Road at the moment. So it's great to see that wind farm there. Wind farms have a very low footprint on the environment. They only use roughly 2% of the land that they're going on, so farmers love to have them because they can get an income if their crops don't do well. Anyway, we're now going to do the last little 23-kilometre trip to Merredin itself, where I'm actually going to spend the night there. Okay, so here I am in Merredin, charging. I'm getting the full nearly 90 kilowatts at the moment, and I'm just going to go to around 75% before looking for my accommodation. And I haven't been here for a couple of months, but obviously there's still going to be a long way from finishing all this. So there's the redevelopment that's going on here of this area. In fact, the main street is actually closed, So you can't drive down the main street anymore at the moment because they're doing a lot of curb work and looks like they're redoing the road. So if you need to come to these charges and you're coming from east, from the Kalgoorlie end, you'll have to go into the other entrance. So you'll have to follow the highway, past the tower, past all the railway station, pretty much past all the shops, and you'll have to come in down that end before coming to the charges. So just a little word of caution if you're coming from the east. I'm going to take the dog for another walk and then I'll come back in about 20 minutes and see how we're going here with the charging. It was a very quick charge today, back up to 80%, so yeah, I can't complain. The charging has been pretty quick today. Alright, I'm off to my AirBNB and I might go for a walk later in Merredin. It is cold, but the sun has just come out again, so yeah, I hope you can see the sun there. Looks nice. Alright, let's go and find my AirBNB. Okay, so a fairly quick charge in Merredin to finish off my day, 20 minutes or so, 24.16 kilowatts and $14.50. And this leg was by far the worst economy, so 20 kilowatt hours per the 100 kilometers. 138 kilometers was the distance we travelled. Okay, so I've just been for a walk here in Merredin and I've just plugged in. I used a few percent driving around Merredin and it's just getting dark now, and you can see there plenty of time to charge to 100% overnight. So I'll probably stay here till almost 10 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah, plenty of time to charge to 100%. So that's something you can do. If you are staying overnight, you usually should be able to charge at an Airbnb. And you know, you don't need to charge the 100% to the chargers. If you've got your cable with you, you can just granny it overnight. That's what I'm doing again here, and you can see it's nearly dark here. I'm going to reset that now because I'm back at 100%. And obviously I charged overnight here. And my goodness, it's a windy, overcast day outside. So I hope I don't have a headwind, but regardless of that, I should stick on 100 and easily make Perth. So I'm going to head straight to a charger before going to my Airbnb. And I don't know if I'll stop on the way or not. I'll see how it goes with this weather. Normally I like to stop and go for a walk. I'm sure I will. Alright, let's get on with it. So I decided to stop in Kellerberrin because there's some nice places there to go for a walk. It's just around about 60 kilometers to get there, 39 minutes. Okay, so I'm just here in Kellerberrin and decided to get a bit of exercise out the way. So I'm taking my little doggy for a walk. Zoey always wants to stretch her legs. So there's this little park which is just like one block off the main road. So I'm just going to have a little walk around here. So the weather is very cold and windy, but I decided to stop in Meckering, give the dog another break, and also probably just go to the toilet, have a drink and so on. So just 70 kilometers away. About 100 k's from Merredin nearly, and I can say the economy is sitting on about 20, so I'm just sitting on 100, which is actually a little bit less. Just cruising along. It's actually nice and quiet on the roads, which is good, but yeah, there's a very, very strong wind out there, and as you know, you've got to be careful when it's windy with an EV because you won't get very good economy. It's more of a crosswind, but as you can see, it's still affecting the economy there, and I'm just below 20 at the moment. So yeah, but I should comfortably make Perth. That's not an issue. Little book exchange. Let's have a look what they've got in here. Oh, look at that, a whole bunch of books. I might have a look and see if I can find a book. But anyway, that's Meckering, where we're having a little break. So quite a cold, blustery day for most of this trip. I decided to just push on to Stratton where the AmpCharge is. It's just over an hour, 114 kilometres to go. Okay, we made it to AmpCharge Stratton. I was just 19% when we got here. And yeah, based on my trip today and the economy and what I got down to, I would say that tyre pressure makes very little difference when you're doing a long trip. Really, it's wind and hills which really affect the economy. Around town it might be a bit different, but gee, today I've really chewed through the battery getting here. So anyway, I'm at AmpCharge and I just had to, just a word of warning, I'll go outside and show you the charges. So this is the charges here at AmpCharge and Stratton, and you can no longer use the AmpCharge app. You have to actually download the AmpCharge app. So they've changed something. I had to sit here and enter in, download a new app, enter in some new details. So just a word of warning, if you want to use the AmpCharge network, you'll have to re-download a new app and enter in all your details. Anyway, I'll go away and work out all the economy for the trip. So before I set the trip meter again, you can see I've done 244.4 since I left Merredin. Time to reset that and I'll go away and work out some figures. So just remember, if you want to use this app, you'll need to download that AmpCharge app now. So I put in 45 kilowatts and paid $31.17. So again, you can see today, not great economy, 243 kilometers using 81% of the battery. Leaves the economy at 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So where does it leave us? I think it's clear to say that it didn't really affect my economy at all. There are things like the wind, even the cold temperature, some hills just before I got to Perth, they all will affect your economy far more than tyre pressure. Like I said, perhaps just driving around town it might make a small difference, but really no real significant difference. I would just say keep your tyres at the normal recommended pressure for BYD, which I think is, like I said, around 36 or 37 PSI. Okay, that's it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the trip anyway. I did. And we'll see you very soon with more adventures. So thanks for joining us. As usual, look out for those motorbikes on the road and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.